Hi guys, today we're going to learn about write, solve and graph inequalities. This is a lesson continued from last week. We have to determine if x is greater than or less than and see if we can graph these on a number line. So let's go to our next slide. The question asks, what is the solution set for the inequality below? 8x is greater than 48. So we're going to treat this inequality like an equation and do the same steps that we do to solve an equation, which is isolate the variable, and do the inverse operation. So let's identify what operation is happening at 8x. I think that's 8 times x, it's multiplication. Now to isolate the variable on one side of the inequality, I have to do the inverse operation, which is division. So I have to divide both sides of this inequality by the coefficient, which is in this case 8. So if I simplify this, I'm going to get x is greater than, simplify this, I'm going to get 6. I have an inequality, x is greater than 6. Now how do I graph this on my number line? I'm going to choose this 0 point, and any of this can be 6, doesn't have to be drawn to scale. I have to give up my starting point, mark my starting point with an open circle. Mind this, I say open because there is a closed circle, but we're not going to learn about that this time. We're just using an open circle to indicate this number here. And now I have to determine which part is going to be my x's, my solution set. Is it going to be left to 6 or right to 6? So x is my solution set. X is placed on all the numbers that are greater than 6. So if you read the inequality with words, x is greater than 6. So all numbers that are placed after 6 or greater than 6 will fit this number solution, will fit this statement. Let's see what I mean by fit this statement. So if I take a number 8 and I have to substitute into my original inequality, I have 8 times 8, now this is x, 8 times 8 is 64. 64 is greater than 48, and this statement is true. If I take, I'll do it in a different color, if I take a number that is not on this solution set, let's say 4, and I substitute it to the original equations, 8 times 4 is greater than 48, 8 times 4 is 32, 32 is greater than 48, and this statement is false. So I have solved my inequality, I have found my solution set, and this is my solution set. Every number that is greater than 6 will fit and make this statement true. That is the goal. Let's go to our next problem. X is less than 93. How will I graph this? So this is basically a straightforward inequality. I say 0, some number here is 93, and I have my circle. Now, maybe I placed my 0 in the wrong place, so I have to do, you'll see why. Let's actually continue with this. So x is less than 93. So all my numbers, all my solution set is on this side of the number line. So actually this placement is okay. So x is less than 93, and all the numbers that fit in this number section less than 93 makes this solution set true. For example, 25. If I substitute 25 for x, 25 is less than 93, and this is true. If I substitute different color, let's say 100. 100 is less than 93, and now this is false. So any number that is on this side will not be part of the solution set, because we have identified that x is less than 93, and it makes true sense. Okay, the next problem. What is the solution set for the inequality below? X plus 7 is greater than 22. So first thing is first we have to solve this inequality to isolate the variable. To isolate the variable, I have to do the inverse operation. So since this is a plus, I have to do subtraction. So x plus 7 is greater than 22. Subtract 7 from both sides. 7 subtract 7 is 0, so it's x is greater than 22 minus 7 is 15. Now I have a straightforward inequality. X is greater than 15. So I have my 0, I have my 15, I have my open circle. Circle 15. So all my numbers in this solution set will be greater than 15, so it lies on this side of the number line. Moving on to the next one. This is a division problem. I have x divided by 4 is greater than 3. So same thing, we have to do the inverse operation, which is multiply. So x divided by 4 is greater than 3. Multiply is the inverse operation. Sorry, it's 4. So if when I mean multiply, I'm multiplying by the reciprocal. That's what it means to do the inverse in case of division. I'm going to write it right here. Multiply by the reciprocal. The reciprocal means flip of the fraction. Okay, so let's actually write it exactly how I say it. Multiply by the reciprocal. The reciprocal, this is my fraction, 4 and something over here, which is supposed to be 1. Because if I multiply this here, I'm going to get x over 4. And this is the same thing as x over 4 in our problem. So my coefficient here is 1/4. So now this is the fraction that I have to flip. So what I mean by flip is 4 over 1. Multiply both sides by 4 over 1. It's same as multiplying both sides by 4, because the 1 in the denominator does not make that much a difference. Okay, so now I have to simplify. 4 cancels 4. That is the main objective here, to isolate the variable, which means remove everything that is extra attached to the variable. So in this case, 1/4 is attached to x. So I don't want that. I want to have the variable by itself. So on this side, I have what I want. X is greater than 3 times. So if you want to put a 1 over here, multiply my fractions. 3 times 4 is 12, and that's what it is. 1 times 1 is 1. We're not going to put that. X is greater than 12. I'm going to graph my 12 here. 0. I don't have to do a 0 here. I mean, I don't have to put a just 0 here. Only the 12 gets the open circle. Okay? X is greater than 12. So every number that is greater than 12 will be on this side of the number line. So anything that is greater than 12 will make this statement true. For example, if I say 24, if I say 24 is x, because 24 lies on this side of the number line, 24 divided by 4 is greater than 3. So I'm substituting x with 24 here. 24 divided by 4 is 6. 6 is greater than 3, and this is a true statement. That's how I can check. Alright, so let's actually write an inequality to represent a given real world situation. So this question is saying write an inequality to represent the situation, then graph the solution. Okay, so Rita can make 8 cakes per day. Okay, so any given day Rita can make 8 cakes. So far she has orders for more than 32 cakes. So if I have to write this, if I have to write this as an inequality, I would say she has 8 cakes to make, she has 32, and she has more than 32 cakes. So whatever she has is greater than 32. Okay, I'm not worried about the 8 for now, so let's remove the 8 for now. Whatever order number she has is greater than 32. But now comes the 8 into play. How many days will Rita need to complete the order? So if she can make 8 cakes per day, but we don't know how many days, that's what we need to find. So we're going to say let D be the number of days. So I introduced a number of days for cake making, I don't know, something like that. So I'm introducing my variable. Okay, so 8 per day, but I don't know how many days, so I'm going to write D. So 8 times D. If I make 8 cakes per day, this is 1 day, I make 8 cakes. 2 days, it'll be 16 cakes. 3 days, it'll be 24. So what's happening here? 8 is being multiplied by 2, 8 is being multiplied by 3, and so forth. So I am multiplying the number of cakes by the number of days. So that's exactly what's happening here. Number of cakes multiplied by the number of days. So Rita has 32 more. So whatever we do on this side is more than 32. That's exactly what it says here. Okay. Now I have an equation, an inequality that I need to solve in order to actually graph it. So let's get into the color. 8 times D, the reciprocal would be 8 divided by D. So I divide both sides of the inequality by 8 to see how many days Rita will need to make 32 cakes. So D on this side greater than 32 divided by 8 is 4. So Rita will need 4 or more days to complete. So given she makes 8 cakes per day, 32 would have been the next number, right? 8 times 4. Given she makes 8 cakes per day, to make 32 cakes, she's going to need minimum of 4 days. But something happened, she got sick, she couldn't find any ingredients, or coronavirus happened. So what happens? Sometimes days get extended. So now she's going to need 4 or more days. Minimum 4 days, but probably more. That's what it means. So let's graph this on a number line. I have my 0, I have my 4, and open circle on 4. Highlight everything that is greater than 4. So she probably might need 5 days. I don't know. Given coronavirus situation, she might need even more. Alright guys, I think we know how to write an inequality. The important keywords, more than, less than, those are the words you have to look for. And these words like per. So we'll work more on some problems. We have a CFU. This is going to be your CFU for check for understanding for week 5 distant learning.